Hi, my name is Matt Lewis, and I'll be your instructor for Math 141. This is the first of two videos designed to orient you to the class. And so when you're finished watching both of them, hopefully you'll feel pretty comfortable just diving right in and getting started. But of course, if you have any questions at all, you can contact me through the Canvas messaging system, by emailing me, or by calling my phone, which is in the syllabus. And of course, I'm going to show you where to find that syllabus. So I'm going to share my screen here. This is our Canvas page, and really everything you need is here in this Canvas page. So I'm going to just begin by clicking on this Start Here module. And basically, there's just a little welcome statement and a page, a little bit about me. So please do click on both of these and take a few minutes to read it. In the About Your Instructor page, there's a little video I would like you to watch. It's fairly short, but it kind of sets the stage for kind of my teaching philosophy, and I think will help you understand where a lot of the parts of this class are coming from. And then lastly, just kind of as a first step, I want you to click here to introduce yourself in this forum, and you'll be able to see everyone else's responses as well. So basically, there's just some questions here to write a few sentences about, and you can see I already put my my responses here as well. So all you need to do is hit reply to this original post, and then you'll be able to answer all these questions. And I encourage you to interact with each other a little bit. So say if you wanted to reply to my post, then you could hit reply and make a comment there. So my hope is, even though this is an online class, that we'll get a chance to kind of collaborate in the learning process, and I'll show you various ways that you'll be able to do that throughout the quarter. All right, so aside from this little Start Here module, the next module you'll see is one that says Important Links. So these first two links here are incredibly important to you as an online student, because they are places where you're going to be able to get assistance when questions come up for you. So this first one says Zoom Student Hour link. Okay, so I'm going to hold a number of student hours each day where you can just drop in and get your questions answered. So every single day, I'm going to be available from 8:30 to 9:20 in the morning. And then every day except Wednesday, I'll be available 10:30 to 11:20 and 2 to 3 p.m. And again, that's every day except for Wednesday. And then Wednesdays, I'll be available from 6 to 8 p.m. so that I have an evening where you have the ability to get in touch with me and get some help on some of the work you're doing. So those are, and to do this, what's going to happen is I'm just going to be on Zoom, just waiting there. And all you have to do is click on this link, and it will log you into my Zoom meeting. Now, the one thing you do need to be aware of is that I do have a waiting room. And so when you click on that, if you're put in the waiting room and I don't immediately let you in, it's probably because I'm helping another student. Either I'm helping them in person at the school, or I'm maybe helping another student who's also logged into Zoom. And so just be patient. So if you're in the waiting room and it's been a little bit, I haven't forgotten about you. It's just that maybe a couple other people that I'm finishing up with first. Now, I won't make you wait till everyone else is gone. If need be, what I'll do is I'll bring multiple people in, put you in breakout rooms, and then kind of hop around between those rooms. So you shouldn't have to wait too long when you're in that waiting room. But just know that there might be a little bit of wait time at the beginning. Secondly, what about when I'm not available? Well, the Math Center, which is a room in the Glenn Anthon building of YVC where we have instructors and tutors that are on duty and ready to answer questions for students in person. Well, that also has an online component. We call that Math Care for All. And it's open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then Monday through Thursday, 6 to 9 p.m. So let's say, you work most nights, but you have Mondays off. Well, okay, my hours aren't on Mondays, but the math centers will be. And so what you can do is, again, just click on here. You'll be put in a waiting room, and then someone will let you in and they'll greet you, and you'll just let them know, hey, I need some help with Math 141. And then they'll get you to an instructor or tutor that can help you out with that. So please, please, please utilize both of these. And so my goal is that no matter when you're available during the week, that you will have resources available to you. And then finally, even though, there's these various hours I'm always available, if you really can't make any of those, but you need to meet with me, just let me know and we'll try to find a time that'll work for both of us. One last thing. If you happen to be on campus for other classes, or you're just in the neighborhood, dropping by the Math Center, which is in Glenn Anthon Hall in room 101, that, like I said, they're available there. And it doesn't matter whether you're an online student or an in-person student, you can get help there. So if you think it'd be more effective for you to actually walk in and get some help, you can do that. And it's the same for my student hour. So for all these hours, except for this one evening, but all these other hours, I'm going to be in my office at school. So if you'd prefer just to stop by my office and get a little assistance in person, I encourage you to do that as well. If you need to check out technology, computer or calculators, we loan out calculators. You do need a TI-84 calculator, one of these. Sorry, it's a little blurry in the screen, it looks like. But one of these. That's funny, that's blurring it out. But it looks something like that. So TI-84 is what you need for the class. There's variations on that, like TI-86s, TI-83s. Those are probably fine. It's just maybe a button or two will be different than the way that I teach you how to use it in the notes. This link here that says YVC printing information. So this talks about how you can print things out at the library at school. And the nice thing is you have a ton of free pages as a student that you get to print out each quarter. And so in my class, the way I suggest using that, and I'll skip down here to this important documents, is to print out all my notes. So these 5 documents here are the notes for the class. And I'll go ahead and let's see, we'll click on this one here just so you can see what it looks like. There we go. So here's the notes for the class. And as you can see, there's a lot that's already written in there. If I scroll down a little further, and there's example problems, and then there's blank space for you to actually do the problems. What's in this set of notes, I have videos that go over all of it. So the basic structure of this class is you have these notes, and then you watch the videos, and then you take notes along with those videos. And you save yourself a lot of time and effort if you go ahead and print these out ahead of time and then take your notes on them. Now, if you happen to have like a program that you can write on PDFs or something like that, then of course you don't even necessarily have to print them. You could maybe write on a tablet, but I'll leave that up to you. But anyone who needs to print pages, you got a bunch for free. So you don't even need to use your own ink at home. You can just go, like I said, to the library at the school and print out a bunch of pages that you have for free as a student. So again, information about that's right there. So you can just click on that. The textbook for the course. This is important. The textbook is free as long as you're okay with an online textbook. So if you do want a print version, you could use the YVC printing if you wanted to, or you could order a copy. You're able to do this at this website. But my suggestion would be just to use the ebook. As you'll see, I've put links throughout the course, throughout the course page to the various sections of the textbook that you'll need. So it's pretty convenient. So unless you're really wanting to have a hard copy book and you're willing to spend about 40 or 50 bucks for it, I would suggest sticking with the ebook and just doing it for free. I'm going to come back to this in my second video. It's a way to kind of help tell where your grade's at any given time. But we'll revisit that. All right, so my syllabus. Okay, so the syllabus is important. I'm not going to like read through it for you here on this video, but I do want you to read it. It's got important things about the class in it. Some of the things that I'm going to address in these videos are there in writing, and so you'll find that I do some kind of non-traditional things in my math classes, and so things like the way I grade and stuff like that, you might find helpful to not only watch the video, but then read about it to make sure you really understand the way it works. Like I said, there's all the notes here, and then there's this rubrics document. And again, I'm going to save that for my second video, but these are the main documents that you'll need for the course. Here is the homework forum. And of course, there's nothing in it right now, but the idea here is that when you have homework questions, you can just reply to this original post of mine and ask your questions. Now, when you are writing, one thing that's helpful is to say, what it is that you have a question about. We have things called written assignments in this class. So I'll say, let's say this is written assignment 2 that I have a question about, and it's number 3 in there. And you can ask your question. And one of the nice things here is you can, if you click on these 3 little dots here, and you click on this square root symbol, that allows you to type math really nicely. So I can say something like 2/5 x minus 6 equals 7 or something like that, and I can hit done, and then it'll put some nice math in there for me. So you can do that. Another thing that you might find helpful is we do have a lot of computer homework that you'll be doing that I'll describe in a minute, and there you might just find it helpful to take a screenshot of the thing that you have a question about. But if you put that here, as opposed to just sending me a private message, then I can respond to it and then everyone can see it, which is a real good thing, because maybe you're asking the question, but there's very likely like 5 or 6 other people who have the same question. So so that's nice to be able to kind of contribute to the overall community that's learning this math, and kind of help someone else out by asking your question. And that being said, I'm also really encourage you to respond to other students' questions with answers. So if you see something like, oh yeah, I know how to answer that, then go ahead and answer. I'll always read everything, and so you don't, if I see that another student's responded, I'll read what they responded, make sure that that's right and helpful. And I'll probably add something to it, or at the very least just say, yeah, great answer, thanks for answering. But don't be afraid to answer each other's questions as well. And whenever you write here what you need to write, hit post reply, and we go from there. All right, so now we get to the actual meat of the course. I've broken the course down into 20 6 different topics. I call them standards. Okay, so that's the reason for this label: standard 2, standard 3, and so on. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and use standard 3 as my example to kind of go through here. And I just want to take you through the various things that you're going to see when you open up one of these modules. So the first thing is anything that is indented is something that is helpful to you, but is not necessarily something that you're going to have to turn in or something like that. Things that are on the far left are things that you need to actively either do or turn in. And so generally the things that are not indented, that are all the way to the left, are the video notes. And so that is where you're going to watch videos and fill in the notes that I showed you earlier. And then any kind of homework assignments as well. And so you can see in this module, you've got a set of video notes. You've got an assignment here. Then you have another set of video notes, an assignment here, and an assignment here. So kind of starting at the top, just to show you what the video notes look like. So these video notes are ones that I have personally recorded. And like I said, they're going through the notes that I've provided for you. And I'll just go ahead and play that. I'm going to keep the sound off because sometimes the sound doesn't work well. But basically, you'll hear my voice. And if you're familiar with things like Khan Academy, it's just like that, where you see writing appearing, and you just want to fill out the notes with me so that you can go back and study them later. All right, so finish up with that. Go back to the main page. Okay, and then you can work on the assignment that comes right after it. Now, I guess before we get to the assignment, let me explain this. These are, whenever it says supplemental videos and an optional, these are not videos you have to watch. Okay, video notes you have to watch. Supplemental videos are just ones where, let's say you watch my video and you think, okay, I really need to see some more examples. Well, you'll see more examples in these supplemental videos. And there's usually more than one of them. Or if you just think, I don't understand how he was explaining that, I want to try somebody else, then pull up these videos, because these ones are not made by me, but they're ones that are available on the internet for free, that look pretty good. And so it's just kind of another take on the topic that we're looking at. And sorry, I'm kind of going out of order here. So I explained what the video notes are. I explained the supplemental videos. Let me actually backtrack just a bit. Up at the very top says standard 3 rubric. I'm not going to get into much detail on this yet. I'm going to talk about this more in the second video, but I grade based on a rubric instead of just kind of assigning arbitrary points. But the important part for you is that with this standard, it describes what it is that we're studying. And then it also describes how you achieve various levels of mastery. Okay, so what does it mean to be an expert in this area? What does it mean to be developing in this area? And so on. So that's what the rubric is all about. So even though it's indented, I encourage you to read every one of them as you start the module. And then, like I said earlier, I've linked to every part of this textbook. So if I click on this, it's going to take me not only to our textbook, but it's going to take me to the online version of that particular section. So notice it takes me all the way to section 2.7 of our book, Algebra and Trigonometry. All right, so let's talk about assignments. Okay, so there's two types of assignments. And I'll just go down to the bottom here because this shows the two. Newton assignments and written assignments, okay? So Newton assignments, let me click on this. Newton Alta is an online homework system that allows you to work on homework to the extent that you need it, okay? So instead of saying tonight's homework is 25 problems, well, tonight's homework is going to be however many problems you need. Maybe it's only 9, or maybe it's 30, depending upon whether you're understanding it right away or not. So when you open this initially in Canvas, you'll be given an option to purchase the program or to start a free trial. Now, my recommendation would be to take them up on their free trial because I'm the only Math 141 instructor that uses Newton Alta. So if you maybe were in my class for a couple of days and you decided to switch to another instructor, or maybe you decide to take a different math class, it's nice not to have paid for something, right? So I encourage just everybody use their 14-day free trial, and don't pay for it yet until you're absolutely certain that you're going to be staying in this class. Let me just show you, once you do need to purchase it, what your options are. You can buy single term access. You can buy Alta Pass, which gives you 2 years of access for double this. And those are your two options. The truth is, so I use Newton Alta for multiple classes. I use it for my trigonometry class. I use it for my calculus class. But, your chances of getting me in those subsequent classes are not necessarily that high because the classes I teach change from quarter to quarter. So I would say for the most part, you're probably just going to want to purchase the single term access because as of right now, I'm not scheduled to teach trig in the winter time. I guess that could change, but most likely you're going to be taking trigonometry from somebody else. So probably the single term access is what you're going to want. Now, I do want to take a few minutes to show you how Newton Alta works. Let me click back in here again. I'm kind of in a fake student account right now. And so I have a free trial going for this fake student. So I'm going to hit start. All right. So one of the things that you'll notice is that the Newton Alta is broken down by objective, and usually there's a few different objectives in every assignment. And the idea is you want to take every objective and fill in the circle, not just to put it real simply. Now, in this particular question, it's asking, when is this expression less than 0? So let me first, let's maybe get one right here. It wants me to kind of work with this so that my number line matches up. And so, let's see, kind of trying to do this in my head real fast. We'll go over here to, oops, there we go. Over here to -6. And we want that to be an open circle. And let's see, and then between -3 and 3, we want closed circles there. There we go. Okay. And let's see, did I do that correctly? I think that I did. So I'm going to hit submit. Okay. So I did something wrong here. I'm not sure what I did wrong. Oh, I guess they're gonna let me fix it. So let's see. It was just a strict inequality, not an equal to. So I wanted all of them to be open. Okay, that's actually kind of nice that I got that wrong, because it allows me to show you that oftentimes what they do is they give you 2 tries at it. And so they give me a second try. I hit submit. Okay, and my answer number 2 is correct. So when I get it correct, what I want you to notice is that part of my circle got filled in. And so now if I go next, if I go down here and go continue, then I've got another question. And notice it's the same objective here. Let's see here. I'm going to go, let's see. And we'll click on this one and submit. Okay, so I got this one wrong. And when it's multiple choice, they're only going to give me one option. And so now notice this time my circle did not close anymore, right? It's the same spot it was because I got this one incorrect. Also, though, I've got this nice explanation here. Okay, it's explaining to me why I was wrong. And you can see, oh, whoops, I wasn't supposed to have a bracket on the 3. Okay, so get that whole explanation there. I read through that, figure out what it is that went wrong, and I hit continue again. Now notice up here, my part of my circle that was filled in went away. Okay, what's going on here is that the multiple objectives that this assignment contains, it doesn't necessarily have you finish one before it moves you to the next one. So it kind of bounces around, which I suppose in some ways is kind of nice because you don't maybe get as bored of the same type of problem, but just be aware that it will bounce around. Okay, so don't all of a sudden think that, oh, I've lost my progress or something like that. This is a different objective described here than the one we were working on last. Now, what I want to do now is actually get a number, quite a few of them in a row wrong, is what I'm going to try to do. Okay, so I got that one wrong. I'm going to hit submit. Hit submit again. So I'm going to get that one wrong a couple of times. Looking through the explanation there, then I hit continue. And I'm going to get this one wrong a couple of times. And there's a point to me doing this, so just hang tight. Okay, so right there, I got it wrong a few times in a row. Newton Alta senses that maybe I need some help. So what it does is it pulls up a video for me to give me some help there. I can watch that video. I can hit continue. Gives me another one. Let's say I get it wrong again. Shows me a different video, right? Maybe this one will help a little bit more. Here's another one.
First step is set it equal to 0 and solve.
I hit continue, and then again, another problem to try. Let's say I just kind of keep struggling here. So if that's the case, what it's eventually going to do is if I continue to struggle, it will try to diagnose maybe what it is that I'm not quite understanding. And so that should maybe do this for me if I just get a couple more wrong. Okay, and it takes me to a quick refresher. So this type of problem here is not the type of problem that was in my objective. This one is kind of a more foundational piece that that students learn before coming to Math 141. And so this gives me an opportunity to review some of those basics. I can click on things like more instruction and figure out, okay, this is how I do this problem. Oh, okay, I remember that now. And then I can hit continue, and then I can try the question that they've given me. So what I hope is that you'll find all these features helpful. And I've received really positive feedback on Newton Alta. So that's why, even though I'm really into free stuff for students, I do have you purchase this particular product because I do think it's really helpful. Another nice thing about it is it will send me as the instructor messages about if students are struggling. So I try to look at that and then maybe reach out to you if that's happening and say, hey, would you like to meet? Would you like some help? And that sort of thing. So that's Newton Alta. All you have to do to get started is click on it. And like I said, please use the free trial, at least for the first week, before you actually go and purchase it. All right, written assignment 2 here. So written assignments are the other types of assignments. As good as Newton Alta is, it doesn't always cover everything I want it to cover. So I do have written assignments where I do a combination of things. I assign you work from the book, and I might also give you some problems that I've written. Okay, so here's how it looks. You click on this, and it says the first thing, it says complete the problems in the following document and then attach your work. So there's a document here. I'm going to do the problems that are in this document, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take pictures of all my work, it's like a phone or something like that. And take pictures of all my work and then attach them here. Now, I don't care if it's just like multiple photos, if you want to do it that way. If you happen to have one of those apps that'll take a bunch of photos and turn it into one PDF, that's great, but I don't require it. So kind of just whatever you want to do there. But upload all the pictures of your work here. And your work can just be on separate notebook paper. So I don't need you. So if I click on this thing, it's this PDF document. And it's trying to get itself open here. Though for some reason it's having some difficulty doing so. My computer's been running a little slow lately, so I'm sorry about that. There we go. All right, and so this one in particular just has a number of problems that I've worked out here. And then, so you'll do this. I will look over your work and give you some feedback on it. And then after the due date, what'll happen is right under this written assignment, a key will appear. So you'll be able to see all the, the solutions to the problems and the answers and things like that. Now, the only downside of the particular written assignment that I showed you as an exemplar is that it only had problems that I gave. Most of the time, there's problems from the text. So let me go find one that's like that. And let's try this one. Here we go. So we'll click on written assignment 3 here. Sorry, I got a sunspot on my face. I thought it was a little distracting. There we go. Okay. I'm not sure why it's giving us some trouble there. This, by the way, is my, there we go, finally. So here it is. So what's normally going to happen is you're going to have some book questions as well. And so it says complete the following problems from section 3.2. If you click on this, it'll take you directly to section 3.2 for you to see those exercises. And if you scroll down, you can find the problems that it's talking about. And notice that those were odd problems. So anytime it's an odd problem, I want you to remember that if you go down the table of contents in the book, at the very back is the answer key. And so you can click on the appropriate chapter and find the answers to the questions that you do from the book. And please do check your odd answers, because I won't be commenting on those when you do turn in written assignments. So basically, This class will work by you going through these various modules, completing the video notes, doing whatever assignments are there, whether they're Newton assignments or they're written assignments. Now I go back up to standard 1 here just to show you one other thing that you're going to see in some of these modules. And if you look, standard 1 says that I want you to solve absolute value, polynomial, radical, and rational equations algebraically. So basically solve a whole bunch of different types of equations. I understand that depending upon whether you're fresh out of like an intermediate algebra class or it's been a while, you might have some rust you need to knock off in order to be able to solve these types of equations. So what I've got is in even further indentation from things like the textbook and the rubrics, I've got kind of background material along with Newton assignments that you can do that are totally optional. So if you, let's say you did these video notes here and you felt like, boy, I feel like I'm missing some of the foundational stuff that I would need for this. Well, then you can just hop back up here and look at some of these more basic things like solving linear equations, some videos, and then an assignment for you to practice. Now, this assignment doesn't contribute to your grade, so you can just go in and try one problem, or you can try many problems. Doesn't hurt your grade at all. And so anything that's indented here that says optional, that's exactly what it is. You can totally ignore it, but it's just resources there for you if you feel like, gosh, I feel like I'm missing something. But and the other thing I would say is if you are feeling like you're missing something, probably the safest thing to do is for us to either get together on Zoom or at the very least talk over the Canvas messaging system so that you can we can kind of diagnose, okay, if you're struggling with this, here's the stuff you should go back and look at, because there is a lot of stuff here and it might be tough to go back and do all of it. All right, so how do you know when to do things? Okay, well, you go back here to the calendar. And in the calendar, it basically tells you what we're doing each day. The very top bar is always just going to be like, what is it that you're supposed to be learning today? So right now, today is just the class orientation, right? But then tomorrow it says standards 1 through 5, pages 1 through 6. So I want you to do those video notes, okay? Standards 1 through 5, pages 7 through 14 on Wednesday. So this will tell you exactly what you should be doing each day. Now, what I want you to always think is the moment that you finish these video notes, you should be starting on the assignments that pertain to them, or in other words, the assignments that are just below them in your modules. But they're always going to be due 2 days away from when you were supposed to have done the notes. So these notes here, pages 1 through 6, here are the 2 assignments that go with them. These notes, pages 7 through 14, here are the 2 assignments that go with those. So there's always a day in the middle that you can seek out assistance from me, from the Math Center, and get all the help you need well before that assignment is actually due. I'm going to go back. And just to, like I said, tomorrow, standards 1 through 6, or excuse me, standards 1 through 5, pages 1 through 6. There it is right there. Here's standards 1 through 5 notes, pages 1 through 3. And then down here is pages 4 through 6. So you know you should do both of those on Tuesday at the latest, and then also start working on their assignments. One thing I did forget to mention about Newton Alta assignments is you don't have to do anything special to save anything. So you can start an assignment and just leave, and it'll be right where you left it when you come back. So don't worry about it. You don't need to get it all done in one sitting or anything like that. And so from there, you'll complete the first 5 standards, and then you'll have a standards 1 through 5 assessment. And there's a preparation assignment that you'll do before you do the assessment. to help get you really prepared. And I'm not going to go into too much into the details of how the assessments are going to work quite yet. But just know that they come after usually like 5 or 6 standards, and that we kind of test on that about that many at a time. But a lot more detail on that in the second video. The last things I just want to point out for this video are, how do you get in contact with me? Well, if you have a homework question, I encourage you to use the homework forum. But you can also click on inbox here and you can just send me private messages that way, just right here through Canvas. And I'm going to send you a lot of messages throughout the quarter. So anytime you see a little number here that indicates you have an unread message, read it right away, right? Because sometimes there'll be time sensitive things coming from me. Maybe other times it's an important thing like, hey, someone found a typo in my answer key, and obviously I want to correct that, that sort of thing. So just keep an eye out here and read anytime you have an unread message. All right. So that's the class, and this is our Canvas page. The one thing I just kind of point out here is that the modules can expand and collapse. You might find that when you first open the class up, everything's expanded, so you might want to collapse it all because some of these are quite long and it takes you quite a while to scroll through everything if all these are expanded. So I recommend kind of keeping them collapsed, except for the one that maybe you're working on at any given time. All right, well, I look forward to interacting with all of you throughout this class. And like I said, there's one more video coming up, so watch that. But other than that, please reach out if you have any questions at all, and I'd be happy to discuss anything with you. Oh, and just one real quick, not only, so we've got, you can send me Canvas messages, of course, you can email me, but also in the syllabus, you'll also find my phone number as well. And so please don't hesitate to use that, because sometimes it's easier just to talk something through as well. So there we go. So there's my phone. All right. I hope you have a great day, and I guess I'll see you in the next video.